So is this the perfect drone for you if you don't want to build one yourself, but you just want to buy one? All right, this is the iFlight Nazgul Evoque F6D V2 with the O3 system, and I'm going to review it today. I got this drone from iFlight. They sent it to me. They didn't pay me anything. They just sent me the drone, like to try it, to fly it, to like take some photos of it for Instagram. And they asked me if I could do a review and share my thoughts with you over here. So I have this drone like now for 4 months. I flew it on some different occasions, mostly cinematic of course, because this drone is not really made for freestyle. This drone came with the O3 air unit. So like you can see, you have this DJI O3 camera basically inside of it. It shoots 4K 60. You can use gyro flow. It's 10-bit. I mean, for such a small camera, like inside the drone, it's crazy how good the quality is. I will show you, I will compare it to the GoPro. Of course, the GoPro still is better. And I will also tell you some like advantages and disadvantages of having this camera. Like you can see on the back of the drone, you have this GPS with 2 antennas for the O3, like to get like a really good signal. I mean, I have like 7 drones, and I flew with this one like several times, like behind the horizon, like not on purpose of course, but I didn't lose signal, and that's great. I mean, this air unit is crazy. I think like if you unlock it, it's 2 watts that you get out of it, so it's really good. What I really like about this drone are the covers on the side. There are LEDs installed into that. I mean, it looks really cool if you plug it and you see like how it illuminates the whole drone. Yeah, you can change the colors to whatever color you want in Betaflight. So that's really cool. It looks really nice. You can see here on the side in the back you have the O3 air unit. iFlight installed a heatsink at the bottom of this air unit, so it wouldn't get too warm. Because of the side plates, you have this issue that basically there is less airflow going through the drone. So the air unit could actually like overheat because of that. But because of this heat sink, and I think there is still some airflow going through the drone. I mean, like if it's flying at a fast speed, I mean, there is still going enough airflow through it. So I don't think that that's really an issue. At least I'd never had an issue like with the O3. It actually comes with 6 S motors. Well, the thing is, I fly 4S, so that was a little issue for me because I have so many 4S batteries, and I said like, yeah, I'm not going to buy 6S batteries now. So what I did, I had motors from T-Motor because they sponsor me. I got some F80s and 2200 kV, so I can fly 4S on this drone. I mean, for me, for my flying, for cinematic flying, it's really good. Because the thing is, I think I tried it and I can fly around 8 minutes with the drone. Like if I cruise, if I go up a mountain and dive a little bit, it's around 8 minutes, and that's enough. And if it's, I mean, if it's like on a 4S battery, on a 6-inch drone, it's just enough. I don't need any more, you know, because the GoPro files get too big if you fly a little bit longer. So it's always better like to calm down, change the battery and go again with a fresh GoPro file. So yeah, I got this drone with the Express LRS 2.4 gigahertz antenna because I fly the iFlight Commando 8. So as you can see, you have here on the bottom, you have the antenna. So yeah, it's really sturdy. I mean, it's the iFlight antenna. It looks really good. It feels really good, and just everything makes sense in this drone. I mean, like I opened it because when I was soldering those, you know, like those motors, I saw inside the drone, and I mean, it looks so good. I mean, the soldering, everything makes sense. Everything has its own place. It's really good. And I don't even think that I ever seen a drone that is so well made, you know. Like if you look at the details, like here on the side, you have this little Nazgul logo right under the USB-C connector. I mean, that looks so good. Like those little details. Here on the back, you have the iFlight logo. I mean, I don't think there is some other manufacturer in the FPV drone world that has so much detail inside his drone, you know? Yeah, at the back also the XT60 connector is hidden inside of the drone. There is something, I'm not actually sure what the name is now, but you know, when you plug your battery, when you have 6S, you have that little spark always that like it pops a little bit. Well, there is something inside of it that prevents that. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, it doesn't make any sound. So basically when you plug the drone, it doesn't make any sound. It's sometimes a little bit weird because I'm always like used to it. When I hear my other drones, like when I plug them, that they make sound, you know, right away. So yeah. So like you can see, I just plugged it and look how beautiful it is. I mean, it looks so good. And here at the bottom, I mean, this is probably the coolest FPV drone that I have ever seen. I mean, you can do this yourself because there is no other frame on the market with these LED strips inside the arms, like they are literally inside the arm. That's just so cool. And you can change the color, like I said, you can change the color however you want. I have some red TPU parts. These TPU parts, I have red ones. So soon I will install those and change probably the color to red, so it will also look really good. So I have chosen purple now because I really like that color. It looks really good together with the green. So yeah, and here on the bottom, you can see the iFlight logo. Okay, maybe one downside of this drone is basically that I wouldn't recommend it to a beginner. Not really a downside, but that's something that people should consider. You can buy it as a beginner because it's perfect. I mean, like if you just plan like to fly cinematic and you say like, yeah, I'm not going to crash it a lot, but I would never ever fly this drone inside the bando. Problem with it is also once you crash, you probably break everything of those you know, the parts on the side, like the side plates. And the other thing is, like, if you have to like open the drone and replace stuff for a beginner, it will be really hard. I was replacing the motors, and for me it was already like I was a little bit scared, like to not like damage the LED strips on the side because they were connected with different cables. And I was already like thinking, okay, I don't want to ruin this drone, so I just replaced the motors and closed it, and I never opened it up again. And like I said, this drone, I have it like for really cinematic stuff, for some mid-range to long range can be done with this, but I would never use it for freestyle because it's not made for that, and I think it's a little bit, yeah, I mean, don't do it. Just don't do it to this drone because it looks too good like to be ruined like that, you know. All right, now let's talk about the O3 air unit inside this drone. Yeah, like I said, that's the camera from the DJI O3. It's a great camera, but I just don't think that it can compete to the GoPro. The problem with the O3 air unit is basically that the camera, I'm not sure if there is something wrong with the algorithm or anything, but I had so many times issues like seeing stuff that I did see with my old DJI camera, you know, like the old air unit or the Vista. The problem is that I have the feeling that this camera sometimes just doesn't know how to expose well in the dark spots and how to like make the whole image look good, because there is the dynamic range is there. Because like once you're actually like doing some color grading on it, you can pull up, like you can really pull up the shadows. So I understand what DJI was trying to do. They want you like to give you, I don't know, the best image possible, but sometimes the best image possible is just not flyable. It's sometimes really bad in some scenarios. I was like, I don't know, flying down some mountain, and the sky was completely like perfectly exposed because there was a nice sunset. I wanted to like see the clouds and everything, like how the sun was going. And the issue with that was that the trees under me were too dark, so I couldn't fly close to those trees because at that point I was actually like really not seeing well or good enough. So like be confident, you know, in my flying. So yeah, I had to land, I had to like change the settings of my camera and go back up. But at that point, it's impossible like to record something because it doesn't look good, you know. Also, the problem is when you record something, you have to record in 60 FPS. And that's a little bit too slow because the thing is, with the old Vista, you had 120 FPS. And like you could really react fast to some things, like I don't know, when you had some branch or anything that you could like react really fast to it, and you can do it with this one. You can, but it's just not that fast. I mean, for someone it's maybe not an issue, but for me it was a little bit hard like to get used to it. I think that DJI should put out some update like to give us back this low latency mode that we have on the old Vista and the DJI camera. Yeah, because I understand if you want to record something cinematic that you use like the settings like 60 FPS and you know like the 180 rule and everything. But like I said, you can take much risk that way because it's just too slow. It just doesn't like work that well. I always said I think that this camera is not really made for big drones or like 5-inch or 6-inch drones. I think this camera maybe for a 7-inch because 7-inch is more for cruising or just for cinewhoops. I think this camera is better for cinewhoops but not really for fast drones, you know, because you have to react really quickly here. Well, let's talk about like the settings that you can use in the camera. So like I said, this camera shoots 4K 60. You can also go to 4K 30, but I wouldn't recommend it because yeah, flying with 30 FPS feed is really bad. It has like this D-Cine-like, I thought it is, with 10-bit, so it's really gradable. I was really surprised because I have, if you look on my channel, I will put a link below. There is like a whole video filmed completely with the O3 air unit, and I mean, the quality is good. I mean, like if you use it. Yeah, also what I wanted to say, like if you want to use gyro flow, like with gyro stabilization, not with the Rocksteady, because the built-in Rocksteady is not so good in my opinion. So I was using gyro flow, but the problem there is when you use gyro flow and you want the best field of view, you have to use the 4:3 ratio. But the problem with the 4:3 ratio is in this camera that it can only be used on 2.7K. It cannot be used on 4K 60 or 4K 30. Well, basically, I'm not sure about that one, but okay, it just can be used in 4K. You can use it in 4K 60 with 16:9 aspect ratio. But the problem there is that you get a much bigger crop when you use it with gyro flow, you know, because gyro flow always crops in a little bit and it will be cropped in like a little bit more than 16:9. And if you crop it from 4:3 and the 2.7K, then it's basically the crop is not so big because you still get like a 16:9 video out of it. What I actually would suggest is to like fly it in 2.7K, 60 with Rocksteady off, wide aspect ratio, and like I said 4:3, and then you can use gyro flow like to stabilize the footage and it will look really, really good. Who would I recommend this? Well, basically I would recommend it for everyone. I mean, iFlight did such a great job with the tune. I mean, this drone, it just flies like a dream. It flies like a dream. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what they did, but sometimes I had the feeling that I was flying a Mavic and another FPV drone, because it was so smooth, no wobbles whatsoever. I mean, it's amazing. But to people who want to fly FPV and don't want to like put like an expensive GoPro on top, and they're like, okay, they think that the image from the O3 air unit is good because, yeah, like I said, you can use ND filters. Maybe it's my problem because I didn't know like how to set everything up correctly to make it look good. So maybe someone else will do that. So I just flew without ND filters. But yeah, for someone who doesn't want to fly with like a full GoPro on the drone and says like, okay, I just want to fly FPV and I want like I don't know, I just want to record some cinematic stuff, no freestyle, and like this is enough for me, the quality from the O3, this drone is perfect for you. I mean, it's perfect for a beginner, like if he just wants to fly cinematic. Like I said, don't fly it in a bando because you will destroy it. Okay, so who is this drone perfect for? I think that everyone who wants to fly like FPV but doesn't want to like put an expensive GoPro on top, and who doesn't want to assemble their own drone, like they want to buy a bind and fly drone like this, and just like, I don't know, put a battery on top, bind it with a controller and just fly it. I mean, this is perfect for them because the camera is good. I mean, like you can really like make some cinematic footage with it, and for some people, or for most people, I think this will be enough. Like the quality of the O3 is just enough, you know, you don't have to be thinking like, yeah, it's a bad quality. Like you've seen in the video that that I just like shown you, you can basically see that the quality of the O3 is really good. So one thing about the O3 air unit, you can use it with Goggles V2 or the Goggles 2, but the Goggles V1s do not work with the O3 air unit. You can also use the O3 air unit with the DJI controller, basically DJI controller from the DJI FPV drone, like the gamepad joystick kind of controller that you have. You can use it with this, so you don't need any additional receiver or anything. You can just like use the O3 with that controller, you know, or yeah, with the radio. So let's talk about the dead cat design. The dead cat design actually means, for the people who don't fly FPV or the people who don't know what it means that basically the front arms are moved back. So the propellers won't be in the video feed of your camera, you know, like in your goggle feed. This is really important with the O3 air unit, as you will probably use the video for like, I don't know, social media, YouTube or whatever, and you don't want your props in view. For older FPV drones without the O3, it's not really a problem because you don't see it at all, unless you have your GoPro like mounted a little bit more to the front, so you could also see the propellers inside your GoPro feed. But yeah, mostly like when you do stabilization like gyro flow real steady, it will be gone all anyway, you know. Yeah, so like you can see, the dead cat design, those arms are moved to the back and these arms are longer. So it's not, because you can buy this drone, like I said, this drone is the F6D. You have also the F6X, and that one is like an X frame, you know, like all the arms are basically opposite to each other and they make an X. Mostly, like when you fly it, you don't really feel a big difference, only when you yaw the drone. When you are yawing around his axis, then you can sometimes feel a little, I don't know how to call it, like some pull to one side, because it's not the X. So You know, you don't have like, if you have an X, then like you have it like this, you know, in an X, like I said, and it just, when it spins around, it stays the same, like, you know, to every side. So therefore it's a little bit different. Okay, so what do you get in the box when you buy this drone? Yeah, obviously you get the drone, you get propellers from HQ Prop, you get these 2 antennas, and also on the 6-inch, I think there is always a GPS. I think that on the 5-inch it's optional, that you can like pay extra to get it, but on the 6-inch it was, I think, on all of them. Alright guys, so I think that I said everything I wanted to say about this drone. If you have some questions, please leave it in the comments, or you can always like send me a DM on Instagram. And yeah, that's that. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.